We have these trees in Oklahoma called redbuds, and they are so named because they are full of red buds. It's not too complicated of a name, but that's why I like them. And in the spring, you can see these all over town. They're just beautiful, and their leaves or buds they appear and they're just bright red or a rich purple, and then they change to this deep yellow, which is in some ways even cooler. And then give it a couple more days and they're all gone, and they all turn to just green leaves. And when you catch them in just the right situation, the right time of development, they can make for such cool photo opportunities. But it's hard to get a great shot. For one, if you just walk up to a redbud tree and take its picture, all you see is just like a mess of red. It's so hard to isolate a subject. And I suppose that works. Like some people could probably take some really cool abstract photos of redbud trees and just like a whole mass of these buds. I'm not so great at that. What I like best is what you see here, where there's basically one subject and then some extra stuff for added context in the background. And the reason I'm so happy with this photo is I took this when it was raining. And so this leaf, for one, it's evenly lit. So I don't have like bright light coming from one side and kind of blowing out the exposure here and maybe having too dark of an part of the image there. It's just all this even lighting. But even more than that, you get this rich texture detail on the surface of this leaf, which is also kind of hard to do. I remember maybe a week before I took this photo, I was walking around the OSU campus and I came across a similar tree and I tried to take some photos of it, but it just didn't work because it's so hard to isolate just one of these leaves. You end up taking a picture of several leaves and some are in focus, some are not. I can't figure out how to do it. Someone else probably could, but not me. So when I saw this one, I thought this is, I'm going to say exactly or very close to exactly what I was hoping I could find for a picture of a redbud. I really wanted the whole leaf to be in focus, if at all possible. I shot this at f8, which I've learned is becoming kind of my go-to aperture for a lot of close-up photography. Certainly, it's good to go wider. It's good to go smaller at times, but f8 is like a great starting point for my 105 millimeter macro lens on a full-frame camera. And sure enough, this was f8, and I took several at smaller apertures and several at bigger, but here's the one that I really liked. I wanted the leaf to be fully in focus, which meant I was kind of limited in terms of what the background would look like. Ideally, I would have walked around, like repositioned myself so that the background was completely purple and the yellow was contrasting directly with whatever was exactly behind it. It didn't quite work that way because then the leaf wouldn't have been fully in focus because the focal plane is so shallow here. The depth of field is so shallow. But I'm really happy with how it worked out. I got all or almost all the leaf in focus. I have the background purple, and those two colors. The contrast with those two colors works out so well. I really like how you've got these opposite sides of the color wheel here. I like that you can see a little purple fringes, which are not lens chromatic aberrations, but actual purple fringes at the edges of the leaf. And then I think one of my favorite parts about this is what's on the very right-hand side and very left-hand side. On the left, you see this little splotch of light purple to add a splash of color. And on the right, you see a couple yellow leaves that don't quite go to the edge of the frame. They're contained within the frame. And I didn't crop that. That's how it was. In fact, I don't think I cropped this at all. I could go back and check. I think this is exactly as it was originally shot, or very, very close. If anything, I cropped on the top, maybe, I don't remember, but this is pretty much exactly how it was. And the colors are exactly how they were. This is basically straight out of camera with just some very minor tweaks in Lightroom to remove a little bit of noise in the background. But what you see is like how it was. So if you see this and you think, man, that's almost the colors, that doesn't happen. Yes, it does. You can get these in Oklahoma and probably other parts of the country too. So it was really fun to be able to take this photo.